Everybody, welcome to Lunch and Learn. In today's session, I'm going to show you how to do sophisticated boardroom eyes, and it's going to last from the boardroom to the bedroom. So I'm going to use a few different techniques than what I've been using, and I hope you can follow along. The reason why I'm changing these techniques as I go is just to give you a few different options. Try them, see which ones you like, and then go with what you feel comfortable with. I have my question and answer session open today, so if you have any questions while I'm going along, please feel free to write me and I'll answer them as I do my session. So we're going to start with primer. This is always the most important step. Make sure you have a nice clean face before putting on makeup. It'll just make your makeup sit better. You can put primer around your eyes to keep that concealer in place. Okay, so the one thing you do want to do, so what I'm using today, I'm introducing our new powder foundation. It's called Got You Covered Mineral Powder Foundation. Brand new. It just came in the mail yesterday, so I'm really excited to introduce it to you and show you how it works. It comes, well, you have to get this separately, but this brilliant kabuki brush, which is vegan head, which means it's not animal head, is so firm and applies it really evenly. So I'm going to show you what that foundation can do. I put it on last night and slept through it just to see what it was like, and it just held its position. It did not move. It did not budge. I was so impressed with it. So it's got new technology as well. It's hydrating, which is really unheard of for a powder. It's high definition, so it really covers every little bit of your flaws. And it's hydrating, as I mentioned before. So when you're using powder foundation, we usually use the powder to set our liquid foundation or CC cream. But because we're using a powder foundation, you always want to use a powder after a cream because the powder sets it. If you put the powder before the cream's not going to spread nicely on your skin. So I'm putting my concealer where I need it first, and because I know this powder foundation has such amazing coverage, I'm not using it anywhere else, you know, on all my little spots, because I know it'll cover there. So I really just want to make sure that I've got enough concealer around my eyes. Probably looks like I was putting on a lot, but I actually start with very little on my fingers, apply it all over, and then if I need to do more, I will, because it's always better to apply less and add than it is to apply more, because you can't take some off. There is that little scab. I nicked myself with my fingernail yesterday, so I'm going to fix that up. So now that I have my eyes concealed, I'm going to take a little bit of this powder. And what's amazing, this is the most incredible thing that I love about this powder, and I don't know if you can see it in here. It has a little mesh. And normally what you'd have to do is tip your powder over, get the product on the brush. But with this mesh, you just press it in and it picks up the product. It's the most innovative design ever, and I'm so excited and proud that our products, our line, has done that. So as usual, I always tap it on my hand to push the product into the brush so it doesn't fall all over. And now in nice firm strokes, I'm going to just apply that. I'm going to apply it to one side of my face so you can see the difference. Going on my eye too. Once I don't have much powder left, then I kind of put the balance under my eye. Foundation powder is a bit too heavy to use as a setting powder for the eyes, so I'm just waiting till I barely have anything left on it. So tap it into the brush again. It's just so clever. I don't think I've seen it on any other product before. My father loves great ideas. He's an engineer. He doesn't really care about how things look as long as they work. And his favorite line is, "Somebody's been thinking." in a Sri Lankan accent. Actually, it's more like somebody's been thinking. And, you know, he's discovered some new knick-knack. Okay. So it just gives me absolutely flawless coverage. I know I say that a lot, but with this foundation, it's guaranteed. And what I love about it is it sits. So now, you know, when you're worried about getting caught in the rain or you're perspiring, you don't have to worry about your makeup slipping off because you have that primer as well as that magnificent powder foundation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of give myself a little bit of contouring. I'm going to use my big brush that I have in my brush set. And I like just kind of, I don't know if you can see this, I'm kind of twisting my brush in there, tapping it, and looking for the spots around my face. Over the past few years, my face has gotten a little bit rounder than what I would like. So I'm going to try and just thin it out, is what I'm trying to say. So I can do that by contouring it, because where you put a slightly darker color, you're going to recede it, make it look smaller, and where you put a highlight, you're going to make it look bigger and more prominent. So I want to kind of go just under my bone here, in the temples, and definitely under my jawline, because that's going to give me a nice oval-shaped face, which is the look I'm going for. So just in the corner there, into my temples, and down to my jawline. So you can be firm with this, you know. On the other side, I guess what you're trying to do is go almost like an E shape. You know, it starts here, goes into the middle, and then down. And then definitely I want to contour under my jawline. So I wish I could have a before picture and after. I might do that next time, but I want you to see the difference. It's really sort of warmed up my face here, which brings it inside a bit, narrows my face a little under my jawline, just kind of gives it more of a oval shape, oval looking face. So that's my base. Now I can go on to doing my eyeshadow. So today I said I was going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to start off with my eyeliner. So take your eyeliner. The reason why I like these eyeliners is because it's so, It's so creamy and easy to apply. You really don't, it doesn't take very much effort at all. So pull your eye taut and get that eyeliner in. You don't have to be too careful. I'm sort of going from a bit thicker to a bit narrower. Like I said, you don't have to be too careful. I'm going to be smudging that, so it doesn't really matter. On the other side too. Really just kind of, I guess when on the inside of the eye you want to be a little bit careful. You don't want to bring too much of the color, too much of the pencil liner inside. But towards the end, it's fine. So take your finger, because it's always the best to blend. You could use a brush for this as well. And you're going to just blend that. And I'm doing small strokes and just blending where I like. And if you can see, I'm blending it more intensely around the base of the eye. And as I go up, I'm just sort of letting that color disappear, giving it like a gradient look. So you can see that. And the reason why I do that is because now when I put the eyeshadow on, where it's darkest with that eye pencil, is where the eyeshadow is going to be more intense. And where it's lighter is where the eyeshadow is going to slowly disappear. So that's going to help make sure that I don't have a line where the eyeshadow starts and stops. So again, same thing on this side. Trickiest thing is always to get both sides looking even. So having a good eye pencil that allows you to blend easily, where you're not tugging your eye and affecting the skin, is a huge plus. And if your eye pencil is hard to blend, it's probably old and dry, because believe it or not, pencils can become old and dry. Okay. So I have both those eyes lined and blended. Now I'm going to take my eyeshadow brush and I'm going to use the bigger head. I'm going to dip it in my... So the palette that I'm using today is the Country Garden palette. It's an absolutely stunning choice of colors they've put in here. Get your product in there, tap it, and I'm using the taupe gray from this palette. And I'm just pressing it on. So I'm pressing it really intensely on my base, on my mobile lid, and as I go up, I'm just very softly releasing that tension, just so it kind of disappears. But I'm still pressing. I haven't done a sweeping motion yet. So that's the look. Other side. Same thing. Now these colors are iridescent, so you can see that in the palette it looks a lot grayer, but now that I'm putting it on the black eyeshadow, it tends to take a sort of a life of its own. It's some of the most stunning colors I've ever seen. Wearable any time of day by any skin tone. Yesterday I used the same color on Marika, and today I'm using on me, and we have very different skin tones. So you can see how I've blended it upwards. Now with the same brush, I'm just going to wipe some of that product off. So I just have a little towel next to me. Just wipe the product off a little bit. Same brush, and I'm just going to spread it a little bit up. Now, everybody can do this. Doesn't matter whether you have deep set eyes or small eyes or hooded eyes. The beauty of this technique is that everybody can use it. So it's really versatile. So you have a look. Now what I'm going to do is just blend that a little bit with my finger, as I usually like to do. Okay. I'm going to take our liquid liner and I'm going to apply liquid liner to my lashes. But before doing that, because I want my liner to be really fine, I have a lot more control if I take some of that liner and put it on my angle brush. If you want a really defined cat eye, this is a great way to do it instead of using the brush from the liquid liner. So keep your eye closed on one side. What you want to do is press your brush on your lashes and slide it upwards I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I hope you can. You want to get it really close to that lash line and just kind of jiggle it in. Can you see that? It's so close to the lash line. Same thing as I get close to the inner corner of the eye. So I made a little tiny mistake. I'm going to take another brush and just clean it up. So you can see by being so close to the lash line, it just defines my eye without taking up too much space. And now for the corners. So I've got the liner on my lash line, but I'm going to do a corner to give it a little tick. The reason I'm doing that is my eyes tend to turn down. So by giving it a little tick, it'll just lift it out a little bit. So twist my angle brush up. If you can see the way my eye turns up, I'm going in that same angle. And I'm just placing that so you can see how that line, it would continue to the base. Now, stretching it out, I'm just going to join it to my other liner. I'm going to apply a bit more. But you can see how it lifts my eye. Doesn't drag it down. Liquid eyeliner is probably one of the trickiest things to perfect, but just practice, practice, practice. That's all. Try different things. And you want a nice defined eye. There you go. So the way that sits out, it's nice, it's clean, and it defines my eye without taking away from the eyeshadow. So we're going to do the other side. Now, tricky thing on the other side is getting it to look exactly the same. I have to admit, sometimes I do have problems with this as well. So stretch your eye out, get your brush in, put it on your lashes, and just slide it in and jiggle it. You can always thicken it if you want to later. There you go. So now what I'm going to do is find that corner, follow the way my eye, the bottom of my eye, the angle that it connects with the corner of the eye, put my brush in that angle and just draw a line there and then connect it. I have been in a situation where the line just keeps getting thicker and thicker because you're trying to match it. And then you got to go back and do the other line and make it as thick as this one, and it's a never-ending game. So there you go, you can see the two lines. I would probably debate this line might be a little bit thicker, but I can fix that up if I need to. So instead of going back over and over again, I'm just going to continue and see what I need to tweak later on. So grabbing my small brush and my palette again, I'm going to go in and just get my highlighter color. Pick some up, tap this into my hand, and I'm just going to go in and do the inner corners of the eye. So it's open. And now to do the under the eye, just brush off a bit of that highlighter color. Sorry, I grabbed the highlighter color again. So I want to grab the same color, the taupe. And I want to very gently just apply it to that bottom. Just kind of giving me a little bit of definition. If you do have deep set eyes, you want to be careful about how much you apply at the bottom of your eye because you don't want it to get more sunken. Next step is my black eyeliner again. I don't know if you notice, but the bottom of my eyeball and my lower eye line, there's a space. And what that does, that space does, is it makes my eyes look droopy. So to make that a little bit more attractive, what I want to do is draw a nice tight black line in there, and you can use so many different eye pencils. You know, you could use olive or brown, but because we're using black liner here, I'm going to use black. But I want to get that line all the way in, and the reason I want to do that is to close my eyes up a little bit so there isn't that space. Not a lot of people will have this problem, but if you do, know that it's completely normal, and to kind of close that gap up a little bit, all you need to do is put eyeliner. So you can see the two. It just gives an illusion of being more olive instead of having this bottom eye droop down. Okay, other side. And go all the way in. Just defines the eye a little bit too. So you're going to curl your lashes. And before applying mascara, there's one more thing that I forgot. This is key. This is the one trick that I talk about all the time. Now, because we've got dark at the bottom and a black liner on top, I don't know if you can see right there where there's that light space between my lash line and my eyes. So what I'm going to do is draw in that lash line. Feels really strange when you first start, but I promise you this gets a lot easier, and it really completes the look. Move your eyeball around to get it out of the way while you do this. And just look at the difference between the two eyes. You really notice that that's so much more defined. Okay, and the other side. Brilliant. So we've curled our lashes. I'm just going to apply mascara. So get your mascara right into the line, the water line, like we like to call it. Zigzag it and twist your brush upwards. finds it on the other side. Get right in there, zigzag it. As you're zigzagging, twirl your brush and brush those lashes and separate them. If you get roots of mascara anywhere on your face, just let it dry for a bit. Then take a Q-tip with powder or a brush with powder and get rid of it. There you go. So a little bit of blush, and I'm going to apply it from our palette, our new palette. It's got a soft peach and a goldy shimmery bronze, and combined, so just sweep your brush over the two and kind of find where you want your cheeks. This combination of blush doesn't have a lot of color, so you can spread it quite nicely around the eye. Find your bone, apply the blush, and it's really, can you see how it has that shine? So if somebody doesn't have high cheekbones, this is a great way to fake it. Pop it up high in your cheek, couple of swivels, spread it around. You don't want it to come all the way here, and you definitely don't want it to come all the way in front. So having a nice high application will lift your face. And then with that contouring that we did with the bronzer, it really starts shaping it, making it look a lot thinner. It's all about using what we have and making the most of it, and learning tricks and techniques to trick the eye, really. It's really interesting palette, interesting choice of colors, and the way it all comes together. It really works. So I'm just gonna flick off some of that mascara that got. Next step is the brows. I don't know how, but my brow brush always goes missing. And then I find it back in the holder the next time. Probably staring at it for ages. Okay. So just get a pencil that's a little bit lighter than your natural hair color. Really, you want to follow a nice shape and just fill in. Where you need it. And last but not least, I'm going to apply, you could do a nudie gloss with this. I'm going to use our new lipstick that comes with the palette. And I love this lipstick because it's a lip balm, a lipstick, and a lip gloss in one. So I'm just using a brush to apply it. And it really just brings out your natural lip color a little bit. So if you want to tone it down a little bit, you can add maybe more of a nude lip gloss, or you can use more of a nude lip liner. But I think I'm going to keep this color on. I love the way it feels, and it smells. It smells amazing. It smells like roseberry or candy or something. So just going to go over the steps again. Primer, powder foundation all over. Sorry, primer, concealer first because that's cream base, powder foundation all over, and then we use the bronzer, eyeshadow, your eye pencil. We smudged it first before the eyeshadow. So just remember, anything that's cream goes before a powder. So when you're using your eye pencil, that's a creamy gel base. So apply that eye pencil, blend it all over, press the eyeshadow over it, blend it up towards the eye, towards the brow bone. Then we put our liquid liner, and we did the bottom of the eye, just to squeeze it a little bit smaller and make it more olive shaped. We did our mascara, we lined the inside of our eye, and then we used our brow pencil and our cheeks and our lips. So I hope that this look is easy for you to try. It's sort of the first step into our more sophisticated looks, because from now on I'm going to start adding a few things for you to try, trying to keep it as simple as possible first so you don't get discouraged, and then making it more advanced. But it's a really beautiful look. This will stay on all day from the time you go to work to the time you go out and play. So, and then till you come home. So have a great time playing with it. If you have any questions, please send them to me. I'd be more than happy to answer all your questions. And if there is a look that you want me to try, send it in and we'll put it in our sessions. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you had an incredible lunch, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.